One of the most harmful effects of anger is that it robs us of our reason and good sense. Wishing to retaliate against those whom we think have harmed us, we expose ourselves to great personal danger merely to exact petty revenge. You know, sometimes you see this on the freeways, right? I mean, people go crazy in order to let that other, to drive like a maniac, to let that other person know that they were driving badly, right? And maybe they even have family members in the car with them. They lose all reason and good sense, exposing themselves to, and others to great danger. Like, what mind is doing that? It's crazy. To get our own back for perceived injustices or slights, we are prepared to jeopardize our job, our relationships, or even the well-being of our family and children. When we are angry, we lose all freedom of choice, driven here and there by an uncontrollable rage. Sometimes this blind rage is even directed at our loved ones and benefactors. It's no wonder a habitually angry person is soon avoided by all who know them. This unfortunate victim of their own temper is the despair of those who formerly loved them and eventually finds themselves abandoned by everyone. Anger is particularly destructive in relationships. So on Sunday morning, we're doing a letting go of anxiety now, but when that's over, we're going to do a series on relationships. So I'm going to read this very quickly, but these next two paragraphs, I'm going to teach a lot on Sunday mornings. Anger is particularly destructive in relationships. When we live in close contact with someone, our personalities, priorities, interests, and ways of doing things frequently clash. Since we spend so much time together, and since we know each other's shortcomings so well, it is very easy for us to become critical and short-tempered with our partner and to blame him or her for making our life uncomfortable. Unless we make a continuous effort to deal with this anger as it arises, our relationship will suffer. A couple may genuinely love one another, but if they frequently get angry with each other, the times when they are happy together will become fewer and further between. Eventually, there will be a point when, before they have recovered from one argument, the next has already begun. Like a flower choked by weeds, love cannot survive in such circumstances. And then the last one, before we do some meditation, is through our anger and hatred, we transform people into enemies. We generally assume that anger arises when we encounter a disagreeable person. But actually, it is the anger already within us that transforms the person we meet into our imagined foe. Someone controlled by their anger lives within a paranoid view of the world, surrounded by enemies of his or her own creation. The false belief that everyone hates them can become so overwhelming that they might even go insane, the victim of their own delusion. Sometimes it's not easy to understand this, but probably all of us, I know. Sometimes we get angry with someone because we thought they meant to do something or they did do something that actually we find out later they didn't, right? And while we were under that mistaken belief, we were angry with them. And they were like an enemy to us. And then later, when our mind changes, then we think, No, they're not my enemy. when our mind is peaceful, and even if, I'm just using that example just because we know how our mind can change towards someone, but even if they did have a bad intention, if our mind changed from anger and hatred to compassion, we would have the same experience. Okay? We might be wise to the bad intention and react accordingly, but we wouldn't see them as an enemy. We would see them as a victim of their own delusion and have compassion for them. Okay? So they wouldn't appear as an enemy to us.